Hi everyone, this is another video, just a quick demonstration of how to privilege escalate from a machine where you've got SeImpersonatePrivilege. And in this demonstration, I'll actually show how to do it by bypassing Windows antivirus. So I'll show you how antivirus will stop one way and how we can use another way to run the exploit by running the exploit in memory rather than running it on disk. So I'll just get straight onto it. All right, cool. So for this particular demonstration, I'll quickly do a reverse shell using the MS SQL that we had before. So I'll just the file. This point, this part of the video is not really important. It's just showing how to get the initial shell and see. So I'll set up the listener there, and I'll run that file there. You'll see the file will be served here, and we should get a shell down here. Yep, there you go. All right, I'll close all these other windows because we don't need it now. Close that, and I'll close that. All right, cool. So this is the machine that we've got and we've exploited, and we can see if we do a who am I, if we do a who am I, we can see this is the user here. And then if we do a who am I priv, we can see this is the privilege that the account has got. So it's a service account, SQL service account, so it's not really a user account. And this is the what we're trying to exploit for Privesc. So ideally, normally we would get a I'll just break. Nope. Split the screen there. So normally we would use something like print spoofer. So I'll just go into my port. Normally we would use actually don't have it here. I'll cd. I'll copy. So normally we'll be using this print spoofer to Privesc to exploit this particular. But if so, I'll just upload this to a host machine, to a Windows machine. So if I serve this and upload this, I'll just go down to the temp folder, cd temp. Looks like the folder does not exist. So oh yeah, it does. So it's a bit slow. All right, cool. So that's the folder there. So if we try and actually upload this particular file, -URI, so I'm just uploading that into, so it's picked up that file. And if we do an ls here, we should see the print spoofer. If I try and run this file here, you will see that it will be picked up by antivirus, Windows antivirus. So all right, here, print spoofer failed to run, operation did not complete because the file contains a virus. This is because this file actually touches disk. If I do an ls again, you'll see the file has disappeared. So antivirus has picked it up and kicked it out. So what can we do? So we can try and run another exploit that we can run in memory, and I'll take you through how to do this. The exploit is actually called BadPotato. So if I clear that and do this, and this is the one that we're going to use. I'll put a link in the description where to get this particular file. And this will involve 3 steps on how to do this. So first we will run MSI bypass again in memory. Then we will have our CS-proj, which we created using shells. Actually it is here. So if you go to, this is what we will run as well, CS-proj. And then we will invoke this BadPotato in memory. And then we will, actually we'll need to create a bat file, and I'll quickly show you. So now, clear. So I did show you how to, or I'll just do it. So if I go to shells, and then run this, there's a video on this, I'll put it in the description as well, of how to use this tool to create the initial shell. Oh, sorry, of the payload. So I'll go on and I'll set up my listener IP 198.51.100.2, set 443. I'll set it to 1. I'll set it to 12. We'll not put it in the temp folder. CCD. I'll put that there, and that's default. Yep, and then just copy this, and then I will use partial decoder. I'll delete all this, and copy that, paste it here, and run that, and it generated this payload here. So I'll copy that, copy. I normally just use a web browser to put that in there, copy that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a bat file. I'll close this now. And let's call it exploit.bat. And in this bat file, we'll put this details here. That's the execution bypass. And then we put the payload that we got there, put that there, and then we go exit, and then we save that file. So this is just a bat file called exploit.bat. So save the file. So the 3 files that we've, actually I'll copy that file, copy exploit, to bat to port, and then I will go port 254. So the files that we'll be using is this bat file, MSI bypass, which is that, which if I do a cat, I'll have to do another video on this, but this is for the MSI bypass, just because of antivirus. And so again, the 3 files we'll be using is this file, which will be uploaded and running the exploit, this where we've got our bat file, sorry, the bat file where we've got the encoded, which will pull this file. So 1, 2, the MSI bypass, and the invoke BadPotato. All right, so let's start the process. So I'll serve the file. So serve 80, and then we start with the first one, which is to pull the AMSI bypass, which is the so this is the first command to pull the AMSI. So IEX, and then it pulls this AMSI rmouse.txt in memory and loads it in memory. It doesn't touch the disk. So I do that, you should see that it should pull it from here. So that's up, pull it. And if you do an ls, you'll not see that file in there. All right, so we go for the next one. We load this in memory as well, the BadPotato. Again, invoke expression and then pull the file BadPotato. It loads this in memory, so if you do that, it'll pull the file here. Yep, it's pulled the file. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to pull that the exploit.bat, and for this it's going to actually put it on the temp folder. So new object, then it pulls it there. It's as good as just doing the IWR minus URI. So if you do this, which now pulls that exploit.bat where we put in that encoded PowerShell, which we used shells to create. So if we do that, we'll pull that, and if we do an ls, we'll see the exploit.bat file. Here you've got it here, and here the antivirus will not pick this one up. Now the last thing we do is, now because we've loaded invoke BadPotato, sorry, we've loaded BadPotato, it's now to invoke it, and we use this command here. And before running it, what it'll do, it will pick up that CS_proj, and we have to set up a listener here, and C443. It'll run that encoded PowerShell which is in here, and that PowerShell will pull up the CS_proj which is saved in this folder, and then run it here, and we should get a new shell as a system. So if we run that, you see that it's pulled up this CS_proj here, and it's run that. And if we do here, we get a new shell, and if I do a who am I, you see that we are now system. And we've got all the privileges there. So basically I'm full admin to that machine. So yep, so that is a full path of doing a privilege by exploiting SeImpersonate. And if you've got antivirus, so that you don't use the you don't have any file running on disk, you run it in memory. So running BadPotato in memory gives us the full system, as you can see here. Again, I'll do a who am I, and we can see that we are system. And before, and system means we can do anything to this machine. Before we were just a normal user here as SQL SVC, but now we are system. And as system as well, what we can do, just as a bonus, I'll show you how we can disable antivirus and then probably just get a MetaPreta shell. So if we go to this particular folder, Windows Defender, C program files, Windows Defender. think something wrong with the internet. You go there, and then if we run this to disable remove the antivirus definitions, enter. It's a bit slow. Oh, that's it. So this is done. So basically we can now create an if we do an ms minimum just to create a MetaPredator shell, ms, that's a MetaPredator shell, and we'll save it here. Let's say run it on 444. And then I start this file, and I cd it's not a good shell. That's probably why it's a good idea to get a MetaPredator shell. It's here. So we'll go cd temp looks like it's a very unstable shell. And then I'll upload that file. Here in exp.exe exp.exe, and if we see it's actually pulled the file here, and if we see it's here, and because we've disabled the antivirus definitions, it's not going to kick it out. And then what we can do is we can set up our MetaPredator listener here, clear sudo ms sudo ms sf, and this I'll set it to 4 because we set it to 444. set up that listener, and we will, once that's start up, so that started there, the listener. Okay, and if I run that file x.exe, we should get a interpreter listener. Let's check again. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be met.exe. Oh, this is the file we're supposed to pull, not the other one, not exp. So if I do clear, serve this file again, invoke web GUI 1.8.51.100.2 met.exe minus alt file met.exe. It should pull that file from here. I had to run that command again because I didn't put the HTTP. So it's pulled that file here, and if we do an ls here, we can see that met.exe, and if we run this file now, I'll close this one here because we don't need it. If we run that .met.exe, we should see yep, there you go, your stage there. And wait, did you get it? There you go, sessions 1, interpreter. And if we go to, we normally try to have a stable reversal, I'll execute -h -f notepad.exe, change it to and then migrate to that process. And we should have a stable shell. And if I go shell, I think it's running slow because I'm doing it over VPN from Kenya to my Proxmox server in Australia. I'll do a shell again. If it doesn't work, we'll just leave it because we've gotten to the, so there it's creating that. There you go. So who am I? And we should be system. Again, very slow because I'm running. All right, there you go. So that's it, and that's pretty much the end of our video. And that's how to Privilege using SeImpersonate, running it on memory rather than running it on disk because you've got Windows antivirus activated. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out on the comment section. and I'll put all the relevant links in the description. Thanks for that, guys.